Hello internet friends, and welcome to the Legion Beta Protection Warrior first look, summary, first pass, wrap-up video. Just tested Protection Warrior for 3 hours or so, as per usual, and learned a lot of little things about the new class, and, well, new spec for the class. It kind of feels like a new class, though, due to the fact that they've sort of changed a lot of your mechanics around for how you're dealing with damage and how you're doing damage. So we'll go over those in just a moment, but I want to get rid of my sort of gripes and bugs that aren't working properly first. So, strength and crit. Crit strike gives parry, and strength gives parry. Why doesn't the tooltip ever show you where your parry comes from properly? Like, you have 20%, and then you get an extra 2.94 from crit strike. So the rest is all from strength plus base, but it's never communicated to the player. The strength gives you parry. So that would be nice if that happened. The Devastate reset on Shield Slam, which is baseline built into the ability, does not have a light up or anything on your UI that tells you it resets. It just like happens, so there's no proc. Revenge is now a weird skill shot where you can actually hit things that are not in melee range. I don't know if that's meant to be. It's cool, but if not, it's weird because you can spam revenge when you're not in melee range and like it wants to go off, but it's like ew, 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 so it's weird. I don't know if that's supposed to happen or not. Heroic Strike currently is not in this build. It is supposed to be baseline for Prot Warrior. I would assume it might have like a rage cost and maybe an extra rage cost, maybe even a cooldown. Because there are some synergistic things we'll get into here in a moment that do not work because Heroic Strike is not in this build, so I could not test them properly. So again, no Heroic Strike available in this current iteration of the beta build. The Inspiring Presence Leech you gain, there's no buff that says you have it. It's kind of lame. It probably should have something. The talent Best Serve Cold is giving a lot more rage than it says it gives. By default, it should give 1 additional rage for each target hit, but it doesn't. It gives you 4, which on top of the regular 4. And then if I hit this target right here, I'll gain 4 rage. Right here. So Revenge gave me 4 rage. I need to go hit the talent. Sorry, it's been a long day. So Best Serve Cold. So now I hit this. I gain 4 rage from Revenge. And Best Serve Cold gave me 4 rage. The talents just give me 1. But then if I hit all 3 of these targets here real quick, I gain 8 rage. So it gave 4, then +2, and then +2. So, I don't know. It's a lot of rage. I don't know if it's properly coded or not. I have no idea. The talent Into the Fray will stay active and stack to whatever you're at. And then if you leave, here, you get it to 3, and then if you talent it, it stays active. Which is obviously a bug. Hitting Thunderclap sometimes sheathes your sword and board. It makes you look funny. Like right there. I mean, like they pop back up again. I kind of feel like it should just keep your weapon and sword out because it looks weird that you put it away and then you put it right back on. I don't know. Animation glitch. And the Intercept tooltip does not denote a min-max range anymore. We have Intercept while we start working into the abilities now. Intercept is both Intervene and Charge now for the Prot Warrior. 2 charges base, you can add a 3rd charge with double time. But there is no min or max range. We've worked out that it is 10 yards minimum, 25 yards maximum, which is 2 more minimum yards than it is on live, which is 8 and 25. So, I don't know. Just seems like a weird little thing that doesn't have a range indicator. Maybe they're still working on the entire range. Maybe they want it to be 8, maybe they want it to be 10. I don't know. That's the one thing that is not in the tooltip right now. So, overall Protection Warrior, as I rattle off some abilities here and poke some things in the face and yeah! Charging feels so beefy now. It's amazing. Well, I do all these buttons and hit things and hit stuff while some fellow fests go off. Protection Warrior seems to slow down a lot. They don't have as much button spam, and generating your own rage seems to, outside of Best Serve Cold, is very, very slow. So of course, to get range by getting hit in the face, which is your job, to get hit in the face, right? That's your job. Boom, new shield wall looks awesome! Yeah! There's Demo Roar, there's Last Stand, no big changes. Not a huge, big deal right there. Let me fix my music real quick, sorry. Devastate, obviously is all on the global cooldown. All this is do damage and has a chance to reset shield slam. Shield block now is only 10 rage. It does cost 60 now. Your other big component of active mitigation is ignore pain, which the shield, the damage shield or damage ignore, is based on 25% of your maximum health, and then you ignore 90% of the next incoming damage up to that amount. So 10% of the damage still goes through, so it still will affect things like powered shields, or HOTS will still have effective healing a little bit because they still, you still take a little damage. It's a weird mechanic that it's 90% of 25% of your maximum health. It's weird, but you ignore all that damage incoming, so more health you get, more shields you get. And it just has a 40 rage cost, no cooldown. You can spam this back and forth, you have the rage for it. I also kind of lumped Spell Reflection into the active mitigation category here, due to the fact that it's a small cooldown, and while you have Spell Reflect up, if you're not reflecting a spell, you do take 30% less damage taken from magical effects. So those are your three like active abilities, and of course your more like cooldown abilities are Shield Wall, 2-minute cooldown, Last Stand, 3-minute cooldown, and Demoralizing Shout, 1-minute cooldown. So you have 3 like defensive cooldowns and 3 reactive sort of active mitigation-y cooldowns. You can add Ravager into this because it technically counts as 30% parry for 11 seconds when you do cast it every minute, but that's if you take Ravager, right? Just how that works at the bottom line here. Yeah, I said Revenge is a giant chain. It's kind of like a frontal skill shot cleave. It's really weird. I don't know. It's cool. It needs more of an animation to denote the fact that it does have this huge pizza slice that it hits in. So shield block is still, I think, kind of awkwardly written. I wish it was got cleaned up a little bit here because you have a 41.47% chance in this gear to block. And then additionally, if you block, you have that exact same chance to critically block. So, yeah, that's just how you crit block. Crit block is half, is double the block. Block is obviously 30% of the damage incoming, and critical block is 60% of the damage incoming from a blocked, physical melee attack, right? So, it's still there. It just, I wish kind of was worded a little differently so you know that your block chance and critical block chance are the same chance on top of the block you just had. I know Prot Warriors get this, but if you're not a Prot Warrior, you're kind of like, oh, again, see, into the phrase still staying up here. Let's click that off. That's kind of weird. Again, Heroic Strike is not currently in the tooltip, so talents like Ultimatum, where your Shield Slam crits, make your next Heroic Strike cost no rage and be a guaranteed crit. Or Vengeance, which is Ignore Pain, casting Ignore Pain reduces the rage cost of your next Heroic Strike by 30%, or Heroic Striking reduces the rage cost of your next Ignore Pain by 30%. I theorize that Ignore Pain, something to do with this would basically be that if you cast a Heroic Strike, maybe it costs 12 rage. That way it would take off 12 from Ignore Pain, but 30% of 40 rage is 12. So I think that would probably be, like, worthwhile if the 30% of this manages that. That's right, because 10% would be 4, 8, 12. So it might work well. Basically, you get the rage wiggle room to cast a Heroic Strike into Ignore Pain. Vice versa, you would not be able to do it without this. Into the Fray is just Haste. Haste will reduce the, as far as I remember, it reduces the, let's do this again and put Into the Fray back on. So Thunderclap gets a lower cooldown. Revenge doesn't change. Intercept will recharge a little faster. And I think that's about it, right? I think Heroic Leap cools down a little faster. Nothing else cools down really faster. Oh, Shield Slam does by a little bit as well, based on Haste. Haste kind of a weird dead, like, stat for Prot Warrior. I'd imagine you want, like, Crit Mastery all day, right? For blocks, and then Crit Shield Slams and stuff, and because Crit gives parry, and then maybe some versatility, because I don't know if bonus armor is still in the game or not. What else we got here? Let's scroll down here. Never Surrender seems useless. I can't talk about this much right now because I talked about this for like an hour on the VOD. You can check the VOD for this. But Never Surrender increases the amount of damage you are ignoring based on missing health. I did a very rough test. If I was at 20% health, I gained about 20k FSHP more in a Absorb Shield, right? Or Ignore Shield. But Indomitable, right next to it, is a one-click talent for 25% max health. you might have 1.5 million HP or 2 million HP in Legion as a tank. That's 500,000 health or so in one click. That means that all of your ignore pains are stronger from the get-go. That would give a tank more HP to work on making sure your damage income is not like, oh, but more like, oh, you know, it's kind of like your HP bar is how you want to make sure that it goes away at increments that your healers can deal with, not that it goes away in, Heroic Lich King level from getting hit by the Shambler in the face and you're dead. So Never Surrender to me feels kind of weird. Just having Indomitable, more HP, larger ignore pains all the time, or Best Served Cold, which is more rage for just more ignore pains overall. Never Surrender seems like it's really weird in this category. I'm just not sure how it works. And then Booming Voice underneath it while we're here on this talent tier. Booming Voice gives you 50 rage when you use Demo Shout, and you will do 20% increased damage to all affected targets by the Booming Voice Demoralizing Shout, which is 8 seconds of duration. It does not work right now. You don't get any rage. Nothing happens. You just shout, and that's it. So I assume they'll fix that in the future. Anger Management was buffed and nerfed, right? So Anger Management now is 10 rage, reducing your last stand or shield wall by 1 second per 10 rage spent. On live right now, it's like every flapping ability, but I think it takes 30 rage. So Anger Management now is literally a defensive choice for more defensive cooldowns in last stand and shield wall. I would argue it can't be made to do Demoralizing Shout because then you just get so many more of them, and Booming Voice might feel mandatory for just like damage and survivability. So it's good. It's just like better and worse at the same time, because it's worse, it doesn't cooldown all your DPS cooldowns, but it's defensive only. You're using rage to deal damage and to defend yourself, and by doing so, you get your major cooldowns back. Again, shield wall looks cool, so why would you not want to do this more often? Ooh, yeah. Heavy Repercussions has a synergistic damage and survivability component now. So your shield slam extends the duration of your shield block by 2 seconds, and your shield block increases the damage of your next shield slam by an additional 30%. So that's baked into you get larger shield blocks, and if you even get a shield block right after you, so you'd block, slam, devastate spam, maybe get a reset on devastate. If not, you know, no big deal. Here it goes. You can block again because of the charges. Devastate again. Here comes shield slam. Oh, that's weird. That was a bug that I didn't mention. If you refresh shield block sometimes, it actually just falls off completely. So let's wait for the shield slam to come back up here real quick as oh yeah, oh yeah. So I'll shield block, I'll slam, get 2 more seconds, I get the extra damage, right? Oh, I got to reset, boom, 2 more seconds, got the extra damage again. Okay, and then I will shield block, slam, get the 2 more seconds, keep going, no refresh on the devastate. No refresh, all right, well, we'll put block up again. We got a devastate off here, and then we got another shield slam. So you can almost kind of stay at 100% in the block window for the most part. If you get lucky with some shield slams, you can stay in block for a long time, which is be good. Keep your block up, keep your critical block chance going, all that good stuff. Ravager, same thing, same animation. It's just like, yay, Ravager. You get 30% more parry while Ravager is doing its thing. It's doing its thing. Crackling Thunder makes your Thunderclap twice as radius, and it gives you some cool Crackling Thunder. It does aggro this entire area, so I'm going to back up a little bit here so I don't get in weird combat pulsing. But it does look pretty cool. It just adds a little lightning to the end of your... It hits this entire platform, which I'll show you now, I guess, because I'm not going to get in combat, but it hits the whole platform. That's a large hitbox. There's no Blood and Thunder anymore, which I'm going to wrap up here with the passives that have changed. So... your Deep Wounds is only off of Devastate and Revenge now. And it will also cancel if the target reaches full health. So if they're healed to full, like in PvP. But like in raids, the raid boss might never heal, so not going to matter too much. Only on Devastate for a single target, and Revenge. You're going to hit Revenge anyway because it generates rage. But that's where it comes from now. There's no Blood and Thunder nonsense anymore. Thunderclap. It's just damage, 6-second cooldown, and a 50% snare for 10 seconds. So it's a spammable snare. You can keep people Thunderclapped forever, technically, if you want to. And that's about it. Heroic Throw is still here. Heroic Leap is still here. Those are the big changes. I don't know what else to really go over here. Bounding Stride's the same as it is on Fury. Vigilance is still here. Warbringer is a little bit new here. Warbringer means when you intercept into, so intervene does work for it, or when you charge, you get damage around you and stun the targets. I'll go over here and intercept to over here to this Horse Spear lady. Again, the AoE would happen, so the micro stun of 1.5 seconds and the damage would apply. So, pretty neat stuff. You also get Siegebreaker as Prot, which is just Siegebreaker. You, like, shoulder into them and you knock them down. There's no animation for it, really. You just does the same animation when you do when you charge, so... Yeah, that's the Prot Warrior preview. Ignore Pain is interesting. Never Surrender looks like crap. Indomitable looks way too good for late game. And Best Served Cold is your only extra rage generating talent. I don't know. I mean, outside of, like, Vengeance Ultimatum Synergy. Second Wind is here, but when would we use it? Who knows? Thank you all so much for watching. It helps me out a lot if you want to hit that like button on this video. And you can subscribe to my YouTube channel right here and check out all my other coverage. If you've missed any coverage, you want to check out my channel guide on Twitch. There's a little guide button right there. Maybe you want to check out my Patreon page and toss me a few bucks and keep me going. I'm trying to make this my full-time job, streaming, content creation, YouTube, and all that good stuff. So I will see you all in the next video. Have a great rest of your day, and we'll see what changes in the future.